All right, now at 5 a.m. after a student was shot and injured at Fern Creek High School in Louisville yesterday, students returned to school today. We'll have more on that story coming up. Thanks so much for being here for WKYT News at 5. I'm Rebecca Smith. Bill Bryant has the morning off, and Micah Harris is here now with a look at our forecast.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good outside. I mean, for the most part, around the region. Actually, if you look closely, now you can kind of see just a little haze across the way through these lights. It was crystal clear just about 45 minutes ago, but now a little fog is settling in. It's not much, but it is there, and it's really for the southern portions there of Fayette County and off towards, say, Richmond. Clays Ferry Bridge, you're going to be running over that. No doubt about it, there will be some fog there. It's kind of a prone area to see that. Work your way into Rockcastle, maybe even Lincoln County. That's kind of the area. Right down 75 and all the way, if you work your way off 75 toward Leslie County, we're seeing 1 mile just south of that into Bell County. So, yeah, there is some fog, but it's not widespread like we saw yesterday in the southern zones. 57 in Frankfort. Typically, during this time of morning, you don't see many cars out there. Barely see any, and now we've got about 12 cars. So there you go. People are getting up and going here on this hump day in Frankfort. Good morning to you guys. Mount Sterling 59, Moorhead 59. It's not as cool as it was yesterday morning. It is a cool start, though, so if you have those kids going off to the bus stop, say in Springfield, we're sitting there in the low to mid 50s. You might have to throw a light coat on them, maybe a long sleeve shirt. And as you work your way farther down toward the south and southeast, that's where we're seeing it sitting in the mid to upper 50s. So all in all, it's really kind of the same feel as you have felt the past several days. Going in toward noontime, pretty much what you saw yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. How yesterday and today are carbon copies of each other. We're going to do that all over again today, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Yesterday we even had some low to mid 80s. So it's pretty warm at times yesterday, but all in all, a pretty good looking day. We're going toward the evening, no issues whatsoever. If you have plans, maybe going off to church or going off to eat dinner with somebody, it's good weather for it. In toward the night and into tomorrow morning. Kind of compare these two. 54 this morning, 56 tomorrow morning. There's just no change. And you've heard me say that for about 14 days now. It's been 15 days since we've actually seen some rain, but there is rain in the forecast. And you see the focus of the forecast as we go throughout the next several days. Yep, all eyes on that big-time cold front as we travel through that Friday time frame and off into Sunday. That's when we're going to start to see the big-time effects of that. So here's kind of your breakdown as we go throughout the next few days. So what you're going to be looking at is, yeah, it's first day of October, but it doesn't feel like it. I mean, we go toward the afternoon right there in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees, which is roughly 6 to about 8 degrees higher than normal for this time of year. So it's fairly warm. Now we head toward Friday. That's where the rain comes in. Big change. Maybe even some frost toward the weekend. Yeah, we'll really dive into that coming up in your full forecast. About 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, sir. Students are set to return to classes today after a student was injured during a shooting at a Louisville area high school. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel's at the live desk with continuing coverage on this situation. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning. We're told Fern Creek High School will operate on a normal schedule today, but school officials say they will have a crisis team available to talk to students. The victim, a 15-year-old student at the school, was rushed to the hospital yesterday. He was shot twice, once in the stomach and once in the leg. The student was taken into surgery, but he is expected to recover. Shots were fired at the school around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Just after 4, police found the suspect, a sophomore, hiding out in an apartment close to that school. He was taken into custody. Parents at the school described the scene as chaotic.
She was scared. Everyone was on lockdown. She didn't know where her brother was. No one was telling him anything. So it's just the fear of the unknown that was really freaking her out the most and getting her the most upset.
Now, police continue to investigate what led up to this shooting, but they say the suspect and victim did know each other. The victim was targeted, and this shooting was not random. The juvenile suspect is charged with assault, wanton endangerment, tampering with physical evidence, and several gun possession charges. In addition to having counselors available today to talk to students, the school system also plans on reviewing their procedures to make sure the administration did everything they were supposed to in the moments after the gunfire. At the live desk, Whitney Wetzel, back to you.
Well, thanks to a quick response from Lexington police, 5 men who police say robbed 2 people at gunpoint have been arrested. An officer was nearby when he got the call about the robbery and tracked down the vehicle involved. WKYT's Sean Moody is live this morning from Lexington Police Headquarters with the latest on how the robbers were caught.
Good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, police were able to make 5 quick arrests after this case. Police say an officer happened to be nearby and found that getaway car. They say around 1:20 this morning, 2 people were walking along Laredo Drive when several men got out of a car with handguns and approached them. They say the robbers forced the 2 to give up their wallets and phones. A police officer just happened to be in the area and saw the getaway car. He stopped it at Manowar and Alumni Drive. Now, police arrested 5 people. They say they'll charge those people with robbery first. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Sean. Also in Lexington, a man was beaten twice after getting carjacked. Lexington police say that just after 9 o'clock last night, a man was driving his car on Village Drive when he was approached by 2 men with guns. The victim was pistol whipped and forced to drive about a half block down the road. The robbers then pulled him out of the car and beat him again. He eventually escaped and ran off. Police found the car not too long after, parked on Jeffrey Court. The victim had minor injuries and did not go to the hospital. Well, the investigation continues this morning into why fire alarms at a Richmond motel were not working when a massive fire broke out. That fire damaged most of the Country Hearth Inn on Monday. It started when an electrical skillet was left on in one of the rooms and caught fire. While no one was injured, one couple lost their home and others were displaced. Now firefighters are trying to figure out why the alarms didn't work when pulled. They say people staying there were lucky they got out in time.
If it had been 3 o'clock in the morning instead of 3 o'clock in the afternoon where people were around and saw the smoke, you know, we could have had several dead residents.
The fire department is working with the motel owners to ensure that the fire alarm system is brought to code as soon as possible. The fire chief says the owners will not face any penalties for the inactive fire alarms. A former Kentucky basketball star accused of shoplifting has begun a substance abuse treatment program. Rex Chapman was arrested September 19th for allegedly shoplifting $14,000 worth of Apple store goods, according to our news partners at the Herald Leader. He started a substance abuse treatment program at a hospital in Louisville. Sources say he's trying to break his habit of using Suboxone, which is used to help patients stop using opioid-based pain medication. Investigators think a medical emergency led to a crash in Madison County. Happened on Lexington Road just outside of Richmond last night. Police think the driver of a car had a diabetes-related issue, causing the car to crash into a ditch. Someone driving by called for help. The driver was taken to the hospital to be checked out. Well, the search for a man accused of killing a Pennsylvania state trooper and injuring another has intensified. State police announced they found 2 functional pipe bombs in the woods where Eric Freen is thought to be hiding. They also found other items belonging to him. Police think that Freen is becoming stressed, causing him to make mistakes.
These devices are consistent with Freen's non-confrontational and gutless efforts to kill or injure law enforcement from a distance. All of the available evidence indicates our efforts are putting significant pressure on Freen.
State police also say they've learned that Freen researched topics like how to avoid a police manhunt and survival skills. President Barack Obama issued a federal disaster declaration for parts of eastern Kentucky. Comes after flash flooding and mudslides damaged homes and washed out roads in August. The president named Floyd, Knott, Johnson, and Pike counties in the declaration. Those counties can now get federal money as part of recovery efforts. State leaders say the floods caused more than $6 million worth of damage. 5:08 is the time. It's time to get a look at live drive traffic to see how things are moving on the roads on this Wednesday. Broadway and High looking pretty clear. We do want to let you know a traffic project going on in this area. It is going on in the Hamburg Pavilion shopping area this month, or in October. Every street there undergoing renovations, which will be done at night. That'll be going on throughout most of the month.